What is a positivity practitioner? Here's 7 considerations if you want to become one. Hi, I'm Dr. Paul Jenkins. I am a positivity psychologist. Wait, is that even a thing? Well, yes, it is. I spend my time helping coaches, therapists, and other servant leaders to have a more powerful impact with their clients through proven positive psychology principles. I can't make you a positivity psychologist. You'd have to go to school to get a degree and then a license in psychology. But I can certify you as a positivity practitioner. Let's take a look at what that means, and especially 7 considerations that you would need to handle if you want to become one. I'm going to start with the most important one and end with the one that will keep you out of jail. The first consideration is why. Why do you want to do this? You have to have a strong enough why to overcome all of the obstacles and the challenges that come if you really want to be a positivity practitioner. I realize as I'm sharing this with you, I haven't even really defined what that is. Consider it at this level. Sometimes we learn principles to know them. Other times we learn principles to do them. And that's what a positivity practitioner is all about. Here on this channel, for example, you'll see dozens, hundreds of videos about positivity and positivity principles that can change people's lives. You could watch all of these videos and gain a lot of knowledge, but until you actually start to apply it or practice it, it doesn't really make a difference in your life. This is how I say it sometimes to our practitioners. It can be in your head and in your heart, but until it gets in your shoes, it's just theory. It has to walk around in your life. That's what a positivity practitioner is. And when we get to that level, often we naturally want to share it with others. So there's an even higher level of being a positivity practitioner where you get to do what I do, sharing it with other people. That leads to the second consideration. Who? Who are you going to share these principles with? It might be your family. You might have clients that you want to share it with, or a team at work, or a team that you coach in sports. It could be any group or individual that is important to you that you want to share these principles with. When I'm coaching new practitioners, oftentimes they just want to help everybody. Well, that's awesome, but it's really hard to market to everybody. So we got to get clear about who we assist. The third clarity is what. What is my message? What do I share? Which of the principles are going to lead on my platform? For me, it's important to have models. And can I just make a distinction about models versus ideas? Everybody has great ideas. When you can condense that idea into a model, preferably a visual model, that people can really wrap their heads around, that increases the power and impact of what you are offering. So that consideration is what. Before I share the last 4 with you, take a moment to subscribe. Will you do that? Sometimes people enjoy these videos and forget to subscribe. Well, you're not going to be guilty of that. Hit the subscribe button right now and then you'll be all set. The next consideration ties into the last one. When we decide what that we share and the who that we share it with, then we can move on to this one. Where will I serve them? In our post-pandemic world, we're all very familiar with virtual interactions, and that is where most people share. But for you, it might be different. It might be that you're going to share these principles at home with your family. Okay, well, that's awesome. It might be that you have a particular position with your church or your club that you belong to, and that's the where you will share these principles. You don't have to spend a lot of time on this one, but it is one of the clarities that's important for new positivity practitioners. And then one of my favorite considerations. when. It's really tempting to tell ourselves, I'm going to do this someday. And every time we say that, it's true. Yeah, someday I'm going to. I am going to. And that can remain true for decades. When is someday? Does it show up on your calendar? Take a look at your calendar. Now check it. Someday isn't on there? What if someday were today? Let's pause this just for a moment to talk about reasons and seasons. When you decide that you're going to move forward with one of your important life's goals, and it might be that you're going to become a positivity practitioner, open a life coaching practice, or take that next step in your family development, your brain is going to give you 4 reasons. It might be 3, it might be 7. But your brain's going to hand you a handful of reasons why now is not the time. I know for me, I'll look at my calendar and it's full. And I'm like, oh, I can't, I'm too busy. And then I remember, wait a minute, whose calendar is this? And who's in charge? Does my calendar run me or do I run my calendar? A lot of times the reasons that our brain gives us become the excuses for why we keep putting it off until that ever elusive someday. Don't let your reasons become excuses. Now, what about seasons? There are different seasons of our life. I know in our parent coaching programs, we have a lot of young moms who have very small children at home. That is a season of life. Now, it doesn't have to be a reason or an excuse for not moving forward with your goals, but it is a season that you get to honor. We honor the seasons and then make sure the reasons don't become excuses. This is important when we're considering the when. The next consideration is how. How am I going to do this? This has to do with your systems for marketing and for sales. What kind of a business model do you have? How are you going to actually interact with the people that you intend to serve? People get stuck here because there are so many moving pieces. Here's something that's helped me on this consideration. All you have to decide is what's next. What is the next physical action that I can take toward my goal? You'll notice this applies to other goals too. Whatever it is that you're working on, what is the next physical action? And you'll always know that you're on it when you can do it now. And not necessarily right now, because we're having this conversation right now, but a now is defined as having a starting time, an ending time, and a very specific task in between those two. So if you can put it on your calendar to actually do it, that's a pretty good indicator that that's a next physical step. If you can't put it on your calendar because there are missing parts still that you need to go gather, well then gathering that missing part might be the next physical step. And finally, remember I told you the last one will keep you out of jail. The last consideration that I'll throw your direction, ethics. What are the ethical and legal parameters around what I intend to do to serve people? I remember when coaching was just starting to become a thing, and there was a local coach right here in my area who was arrested for practicing without a license. Now, coaching doesn't require a license or any kind of specialized certification or training. Anybody can hang up their shingle and be a coach. But what she was arrested for was practicing therapy without a license. Therapy is a regulated industry and field. You cannot practice it without meeting certain qualifications and criteria, and it has to happen within certain legal parameters. You want to be clear about what it is that you can do ethically and legally. What are the limitations to your practice? I told you this one will keep you out of jail. Being clear about that is something that is absolutely essential if you really want to move forward and make a big difference for people. Let's see where you are in your journey to become a positivity practitioner. I've prepared a quiz for you. Go to the URL on the screen, drpauljenkins.com/practitioner quiz. And what you'll see there is a really quick quiz on these 7 clarities. It's the same 7 that we talked about today. You'll get to decide where you are on each of those, how clear you are, and then I'll give you the results of that quiz. And if you would like to have further conversations about that, there's ways to move forward once you've completed the quiz.